Hi everyone, I had a bit of a break from creating videos over New Year, but I'm getting ready to work on some new art for 2024, and I've started another small concept art project called The Nest Egg, which I will be trying to actually create a proper video on when it's 100% completed, but I thought I'd create a quick video to document and show you what all of my concept art projects usually look like in their first draft stages. My starting point is usually creating a mind map, getting out all the ideas for the project, what themes could be relevant, and how I can combine them. The idea for the nest egg first came to me when I was wanting to design a project about a vault guarded by a variety of magical creatures. I was deliberating on what visual theme I wanted for the world, as this helps me to influence the design, and I thought of how people usually use the term nest egg as like a collection of money or valuables that you store away, and I really liked how this word sounded, and I liked the visual of birds looking after their eggs in a nest. So the mind map then helps me to think how I can combine themes together and then how they can be expanded on. I usually don't really have any substantial drawings as such to show at this stage. A lot of the quick sketches and thumbnails I create at the beginning are usually for my reference first, and then I'll take what I like and we'll develop it further if I think it could work. Exploring shapes is a favourite of mine. It stops me from diving into detail too quickly, instead focusing on how I can utilise the visual themes of a nest egg. For example, this magnifying glass type of design looks like an egg in a frying pan. This pattern here was inspired by 3 eggs in a nest. The flower design with the middle bud looking like a hard-boiled egg with the leaves similar to eggshells. It's just these sort of simple details that I really enjoy exploring, which will then be utilised in the later stages of the project. I did jump into doing a sketch of what the nest egg building could look like. I had the image of a great big domed building shaped like an egg floating in the sky with the clouds surrounding it like its nest. I really want to use anti-gravity, like gravity manipulation, as a magic mechanic in this world, so the floating building makes sense in this case, especially from a security point of view as well. I also started thumbnailing how clients would get to the nest egg, and immediately a hot air balloon ship came into mind with the balloon looking like a massive egg. I haven't landed on a final design of it yet, but I really like the concept of the hot air balloon basket looking like a plate, and using cut up toast as like a visual for the chairs, with the flame in the middle heating up the frying pan with the egg balloon above. This is why I really love to come up with a specific theme for a project, because it helps me come up with some really weird but fun ideas, and sort of like helps to challenge me how to think creatively about it, and hopefully it'll help to make the world feel more visually linked together. Another prop which popped into my mind pretty early was how the clients would show their details and identification, since this is a big part of if you're needing to do anything in a high security setting like a bank. I really liked the concept of their ID looking like an egg, which is then cracked, and the ink filters down into an hourglass machine to be processed into a written document. Most of these ideas usually come from me thinking about what the usual process is, like needing to show a document to prove it's you, and just thinking how I can make this as unique as possible and in keeping with the theme of the world building that I've chosen. Even thinking of the smallest props and the designs is important. I knew I would still use keys as a prop in this world. It's not exactly the most unique, but I like the classic feel to them, and it helps the world not feel too high-tech, as I kind of want it to still feel old and grand. There's still ways in which the theme can inform the design of these small items. I thought back to the round pattern I sketched of the eggs in a nest, and I felt this worked for the top, more detailed part of the key. Then it comes to my characters. I already knew from the beginning that the driving force of the story around this world would involve a thief breaking into the nest egg. It was just deciding what kind of thief I wanted. I got a lot of inspiration from the video game Little Nightmares, the concept of children being in a world massive in comparison to them and filled with supernatural entities they constantly need to escape from. Since my nest egg employees are gonna be mostly supernatural, it felt more fitting to have a mundane but resourceful human being as the thief. Coming up with the thief's design wasn't too tricky. I quite liked the visual I settled on for the hair reflecting bird tails and wings, the little bird shaped bow tie. I didn't want a design that was too heavy in clothing and props, as this character will need to be light on their feet. The tricky part was deciding if and what prop I should give my character. I was thinking of a type of utensil which can be used as a weapon and a tool. I looked back at my mind map and saw I wrote down egg and spoon, and egg and spoon races popped into my mind, running away balancing the egg on the spoon, not letting it fall to the ground. Something that's used to scoop up an egg, like a thief stealing valuables, was sort of like a little comparison I made. And so a spoon or multiple spoons felt like a good versatile tool for the thief, and it felt in keeping with the theme. I also had a fun little idea I liked of the holder for the spoons being a belt around the thief's waist with a bird claw mechanism which holds the spoons in place instead of straps. This design feels mostly finished for me so far, and there's a couple of others that I feel are pretty much finished as well. I knew roughly what I wanted some of my employees to look like, especially the ones who look out for intruders. I haven't got an exact visual for this yet, but I'm wanting to design the pathway to the vault in the centre of the nest egg to be like a massive maze or labyrinth with pathways and halls going off in every direction to deter thieves from making it to the middle. And I want to have a mixture of creatures who keep this area well guarded, but I like the idea of a main individual character I've named the Watch Owl, who uses bird-like creatures to fly around and monitor the labyrinth and report back to them if the birds find something. These are the concept sketches I've designed so far. I actually got really huge inspiration for these creatures from the Zelda game Twilight Princess, with the shadow beasts from Twilight who have like the flattened faces, which reminded me of coins. I liked the uncanny, slightly creepy feel of the birds having coins for faces as well, acting like one big eye. I've not finalised the design yet. I might potentially explore putting different faces on the coins, or patterns with small little glowing parts. Not too certain yet, but this is what the beginning phase of the project is all about. The Watch Owl is a design I still might develop a little bit more, but I love the visual of them having multiple arms like branches of a tree that the coin-faced birds then sit on when they're not patrolling the labyrinth. That's mostly all I have to show so far. I have ideas for the other characters in my head, and I've started some sketching of them, but there's nothing too substantial to show yet. But I'm really excited for how I'm going to design them, and especially the boss, and what the head office at the top of the nest egg will look like. But yeah, for any kind of stage of a project, personal or professional, it can be stressful for a designer, because at that point you don't know if the concept is going to work, or if the designs, while good in theory, might not be how you envision it at the end. But I'll let you know how this one goes, and I'm excited to see how it will develop. Thank you for checking out the video, and I will hopefully be back soon with more on this project.